Hi everyone, it's Lynnea for LDRS Creative, and I have some new products to play with today, and I'm going to make 2 birthday cards. I don't know about you, but I make a lot of cards throughout the year, including birthday cards, and I really struggle to still have enough to send to all of my friends and family throughout the year. So I wanted to make some quick birthday cards that are a little bit more than one layer, but still easily mailable. And I have 2 birthdays that are coming up, so I'm going to use their favorite colors to make these cards. I'll use the Floral reverse background stamp along with the Winding Celebrations 5x7 stamps for my sentiments. And I'll be bringing in some dies at the end here too. So to start with, I have a piece of A2 cardstock in my stamping platform, and I'm going to stamp with the Floral reverse 6x6 background. Now, when I'm taking this off the package, I want to be careful because this is a large photopolymer stamp, which means I can stretch this. The more I pull and pull and pull on this stamp, I can distort the images. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling the acetate backer off of the photopolymer rather than pulling the photopolymer off of the backing. And I'm also kind of pulling from the center so that I don't stretch out those edges. I lined that up on my cardstock and lifted it up with the door of my platform, and then I peeled that back, and I'm going to roll that out nice and flat. This is a trick I do with any type of large photopolymer stamp, because if you just kind of place that down on the lid, you're likely to get some bubbles, and you might think that the stamp itself has a defect when it actually doesn't. There's just a bubble underneath your photopolymer. So this first background, I'm stamping with Tickled Pink, and this is a large background, and these are solid images. It's not one solid, but that print is a pretty blocky print. So I'm going to ink this up a few times, use my fingers to press on any areas that I need a little more contact, and then, like I said, I'll just ink this up a couple of times. So I used Tickled Pink for the first one, Marina Madness is for my second one, and I simply chose these colors based off of what my friends' favorite colors are. One likes pink and one likes blue. So these are my 2 backgrounds. And I stamped these so that there's probably about maybe 1.5 inches of white space up at the top. Honestly, I didn't measure. I just wanted there to be a little bit of white space. Then I'm going to add some black watercolor ink spatters across my backgrounds. If you know me, you know I love to add easy, dimensionless texture with ink spatters. It's a great way to add some texture and interest without adding extra bulk to your cards. In the Winding Celebrations 5x7 sentiment stamps, there are 2 stamps that are perfect for birthday sentiments. And I really love these new sentiment stamps from LDRS Creative. There's 2 different sets, and they all feature this winding pattern of sentiment, which is really creative and unique. I'm bringing in the pinpoint circles dies, and I'm going to cut out my sentiment with those. And then I also have the hand-torn circles dies, and I'm going to cut out a layer of black cardstock from that. I chose the circle, the pinpoint circle that perfectly fit the sentiment, and then I just went up with that next size in the hand-torn circle so that I could have a nice layer. I will run those through my die cutting machine, and then I'll be able to layer those up nice and easily to create some added texture and dimension on my card. Alright, I have all of my pieces ready to go, and I'm just going to start layering and assembling. Now these are going to go through the mail, so you could add foam tape behind these circles here, but I wanted to add them with liquid adhesive so that I could keep the bulk to a minimum. I'm also going to add a thin black cardstock border. It's just a finishing touch that I like to add whenever I have a design that's cutting off. I like to add a border just because I think it looks more pleasing to the eye, but you could definitely skip that. I just added a thin line of blue right at the top of that stamped edge, and then I'm going to place that black border. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch. I didn't measure, I just took some black cardstock to my paper trimmer and trimmed off a little bit. Then I can snip the edges off and I'll have a perfect border. Now I do want some dimension on my card, so I'm going to pop up the hand-torn circle, that black square, or circle rather, and that is going to be what is dimensional on my card. So it's easy design to quickly mass produce and send through the mail. I hope you enjoyed these quick cards. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye!